Chapter 3. Frequency Illusion. Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon. De-signing. Your life means getting rid of all the reminders and distractions. Be your own faithful servant. Stack the odds in your favor. Find every edge and use every trick to make the path of least resistance also the one that brings long-term fulfillment. Make decisions now that your future self will likely follow. It's a cascade. The better you stack the deck now, the better hand your future self will get to play. Fake it till you make it. Overconfidence is far better than underconfidence for normally powered individuals. I recently read that the most likely emotion to cause you to make an incorrect decision is overconfidence. I think that advice is misguided. Overconfidence is what allows people to break social norms, be first in a market, or achieve breakthroughs. With today's access to information and feedback, the risk of being overconfident is lower than ever. If you're ever going to be overconfident, now is the time to do it, unless you're managing risks on a large scale, in which case caution is warranted. Overconfidence is hard to measure, and you can't really tell whether you are overconfident or not. Doubt doesn't produce results. Beliefs in evolution. Your pinky toe is one easy way to see that you are evolved, not designed. Consider how aging directors and storytellers mellow with age. Testosterone plays a significant role. When you have much to gain and little to lose, high testosterone can drive risk-taking and achievement. Yet the longer you've been around, the more you have to lose and the less you have to gain. This effective reduction in risk-taking, wise in a weakening body, is also wise economically, even if it makes for softer stories. Look at great musicians or filmmakers. As their testosterone declines, their work may shift from rage and conquest toward a gentler tone. In this way, your biology affects your behavior and society. Pathing and inspiration. Consider a quote from Benjamin Franklin. Write things worth reading or do things worth writing, if you would not be forgotten. As soon as you are dead and rotten, either write things worth reading or do things worth the writing. This reminds us to do what wasn't inevitable, to make decisions that maximize your potential impact. Do the thing that was unlikely to happen otherwise. If you're writing your thesis, for the love of God, please do not do only what is interesting. Instead, do what is both interesting and useful. The good news is, if it's helpful to the world, you can actually make money on it. Imagine a sick child in desperate need. You might hand him an app, an Uber, and an iPad, and wonder why none of these things work. They aren't meant to cure people. If a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, then to create positive benefit, you must know how to do the thing and then actually do it. Which is the weaker link? The world's ability to do things or its desire to do things? I believe the world is missing desire. Otherwise, everyone would be fit, spend time with family, and do all the things they know they should do. It isn't a lack of knowledge, it's a lack of desire. Focus and specialization. If you want to have the biggest impact and work with the big boys, focus on doing one thing exceedingly well. You shouldn't fear the man who knows 1,000 techniques. Fear the man who knows one technique very well. A higher use of your abilities is to solve the problems that you think are important rather than those that others assume are problems. This assumes you have better beliefs and are more driven. People often wonder whether to pursue physics or biology. Consider that you are made of meat and also of physics, but nature has invested billions of years, with the sun's energy, in biology. Organisms invented sex, DNA, and mutation without cash or experts. Compare that to a few hundred years of human progress in physics. Learning from biology beats trying to recreate biology in a lab. In matters that aren't subjective, progress isn't limited by human emotion. Computers can get fast, but making better tasting food is limited by our human factors. Choose the field that not only pays, but is easier to excel in. Self-assessment and benchmarking. You can measure yourself. Test for perfect pitch, or use online benchmarks for reaction time, memory, and other abilities. Focus on the important things first and execute the Pareto principle in your personal endeavors so that you address your weak points. In other words, concentrate your efforts on what truly matters rather than spreading yourself too thin. Wishing for more and scaling impact. Wish for more wishes. Somewhere along the way, adults lose the spontaneity that children have. Many ordinary people, with far fewer resources than you, achieve more than you might expect. The key is to choose beliefs that give you a chance at greatness rather than ones that doom you to mediocrity. Focus on the many instead of just the few. Help the masses, and they will help you in return. The value of doing one thing exceedingly well. When you're good at many things, you risk never mastering any of them fully. Concentrate on what you're truly cut out for, and measure your abilities. For instance, if you have perfect pitch, look at music. If you have a unique visual ability, explore art. If you're exceptionally tall, consider basketball. Benchmark yourself and work on the areas where you can excel the most. Additional reflections. On beliefs. Don't let your future be determined by following what everyone else does. Focus on what you can uniquely contribute. On social justice. Ignoring differences or insisting on sameness can be insulting. Recognize and celebrate differences rather than trying to force equality in a way that diminishes individuality. On racism. Simplistic models of privilege based solely on skin color are flawed and insulting. Real diversity is more complex than grouping people by race or nationality. Mankind's place in the universe. Contemplate the meaning of life, the Fermi paradox, and our place in the cosmos. The fact that we are not likely to be the first conscious beings in the universe, and that most stars are too far away to matter, should remind us to focus on the immediate challenges of survival and progress. Gender and social dynamics. Understand that differences between men and women are real. Social constructs like pay gaps or wage gaps often mask deeper issues such as differences in work hours or societal roles. Prioritize what truly matters. What will help you achieve meaningful profit or impact? On creativity and specialization. If you're smart enough to educate yourself on a subject, why keep that benefit to yourself? Transmit that knowledge so that others may benefit as well. In the modern world, scaling your impact, helping the many rather than only yourself, creates exponentially greater returns. Mind and body as one. Many mistakenly view the mind and body as separate, but they are inextricably linked. To be effective, you must take care of both. In a world where you can scale your efforts, your individual gains multiply when you contribute to the whole. Emotional mastery and internal logic. Become the master of your emotions. Just as comedians and musicians evoke joy, you can create lasting inner happiness by living up to your expectations. When you face internal conflicts, when one part of you wants to quit while another pushes you forward, recognize this adversarial internal logic as a natural process that can be overcome. The power of focus and the Pareto principle. Focus on what you can do best and execute that one thing exceedingly well. The more you spread your attention across many areas, the less you achieve in any one. Concentrate your energy where it matters most. Final thoughts on scaling and impact. Your life is profoundly influenced by countless people, many of whom you will never meet. If you help the masses, they will help you back. Focus on building scalable impact rather than getting lost in personal development that benefits only you. Remember, if you don't use your unique gifts, you'll always feel regret. Dreams, vision boards, and focus tools. Consider the value of dream books and vision boards. They work best when they actively direct your focus rather than simply decorate your space. Choose images and goals that truly influence your behavior and help you focus on achieving real challenges. Conclusion. Do not waste your life trying to follow what is merely interesting. Instead, choose what is both interesting and useful, and make decisions that your future self will thank you for. Embrace overconfidence when the stakes are low. Use your unique abilities to set yourself apart, and always focus on doing one thing exceedingly well. By doing so, you maximize your potential impact on the world and create a foundation for lasting fulfillment.